Now you're probably thinking, oh my god, not another Anbernic device. Well, I think you're going to like this one. This is the Anbernic RG40xx H, H standing for horizontal. So, without further delay, let's dive in. So I just quickly need to let you know, this device was sent by Litnxt for free for review, but my opinions are my own and they don't get to see any of the video before it goes live. Now, as you guys know, I like to kick things off with a quick unboxing. So let's do that first. So unboxing the RG40xx H, and in true Anbernic style, it's just a plain white box with an outline of the device on the front and then some information saying which model you got. So we open it up and see that familiar squishy foam that protects the device, and then of course the device itself is in a bag. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Underneath here we should find some instructions, which I'm not going to read, and then of course we're going to have a USB cable for charging. So this should be a USB-A to USB-C, and yes it is. Now this will only charge the device, it won't do data. Now taking a closer look at the device, I really like this blue colour. It's a really nice finish, and the buttons feel nice. But let's have a look at the I/O, starting with the top. Now as you can see, we have a power button, volume up and down. Next, we have an indicator LED, we have a USB-C charging port, a reset button, and then a micro HDMI out. And that's how we'll capture some footage later on in the video. Now the triggers are clicky, just like a Nintendo Switch, they're not analog. Looking at the sides of the device, there's nothing there. And then on the bottom, we can see we've got the main SD card slot, which has the OS on it, a 3.5mm headphone jack, a separate SD card so you can have all your ROMs on there, and dual downwards facing speakers. On the back of the device, there's nothing to note. So let's go over the specification. The screen is a 4-inch IPS OCA full lamination with a resolution of 640 by 480. The CPU is a H700 quad-core ARM Cortex A53 at 1.5 GHz. The GPU is a dual-core G31 MP2, and the RAM is LPDDR4 and it's got 1 GB. For storage, it does come with a 64 GB micro SD card, and the operating system is Linux 64-bit. Now for connectivity, we have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi, running on the 802.11a, B, G, N and AC bands. Bluetooth is 4.2. The speakers are high fidelity, and then of course we do have an extra SD card slot that supports up to 512 GB. Last but not least, the battery is a LiPo and it's 3200 mAh. Now they're suggesting it should last 6 hours, but I think you'll be able to get more time out of it depending how you're using it. Other things to mention is the RGB around the analog sticks, and of course their Hall effect. So you're probably thinking to yourself, hold on a minute, the specs are the same as the RG35XX SP, so why bring out another device, albeit in a different form factor? Well, the Anbernic RG35XX SP I've already done a video on, and you can go click up there somewhere and go and check it out. Now some people might not like that form factor. They might like the PSP form factor, so the H is for horizontal. Also, there's no analog sticks on the SP. With the H, we get those Hall effect analog sticks, and of course they have the RGB around them. And let's not forget about the screen aspect ratio, where you've got more of a wide screen on the 40XX H, and of course the SP has more of a square aspect ratio, not ideal for all systems. Now before we look at any gameplay, I need to remind everyone that I'll be giving these devices away. So the RG40xx H is going to be given away to someone on the Patreon, and for you to enter, all you need to do is click on the link for the Patreon in the description, sign up for it, and then you could be in with a chance of winning a handheld. Now, I've given loads of devices away, and just recently the 35XX SP was won by someone in Norway, so that'll be getting shipped across to them real soon. Also, Patreon members get access to a secret Discord, so if you want to join in, click the link in the description below, join the Patreon, and you'll be able to take advantage of all those benefits. So I think it's time we took a closer look of the RG40xx H and play some games. So let's do that next. So the speakers are quite loud and the screen is very clear and vibrant. It's really hard to record the screen on my camera. You kind of get those funny RGB swirls, but the screen is really bright, it looks great, and those RGB analog sticks look awesome. So as you can see, we've connected the HDMI so we can use the capture card. Now, just like the RG35XX SP, you've got two different ways to view the games, but my personal favourite is using the RetroArch. And as we can see, we've got all the same systems, just like we had on the 35XX SP. So just naming a few: PSP, PlayStation 1, N64, Dreamcast, and Nintendo DS. Of course, we've got CPS 1, 2, and 3, FB Neo, Famicom, Game Gear, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Watch, got some homebrew on here. We've got MAME, Mega Drive, Neo Geo, Naomi, Mega CD, MSX, NGPC, PCE, PCE CD, Pico, Poke, Sega 32X, Super Nintendo, and Sega Master System, V Arcade, VB, WonderSwan, and we have some ports. And we'll look at a port a little bit later on. Now, of course, you've got the App Center where you've got the music player, the video, ebook, file manager, etc. There's just a couple of little apps in here. You have your favorites, so you can style your favorite ROMs. We've got the history, so we can look at the games that you've been playing. And of course, we have the normal settings that we've seen on the RG35XX SP. So I thought I'd test God of War Chains of Olympus. Now, this game doesn't run super well, as you can see by the FPS counter, but the audio doesn't have any issues. Now, of course, there is copyrighted music in a few of these games, so it's best just to keep the audio out of it. Now, Grand Theft Auto Vice City on the PSP runs pretty well, and of course, we've moved over now to the PlayStation 1 with Crash Bandicoot, and again, you're not going to have any problems with PlayStation 1 here. Now, as many of you might know, Gran Turismo 7 is my go-to game at the moment, so I thought I'd play some Gran Turismo on the PS1, and again, it runs absolutely flawlessly. So it's got some ports, and we've got Outrun here. So I thought I'd have a little go on this to see how it ran, and as you can imagine, it was perfect. So let's push it a little bit further. We've got the Dreamcast and Crazy Taxi. Again, this runs really well. Only a couple of little stutters here and there. It's definitely a good experience on Dreamcast. So in summary, it's another fantastic handheld device for emulation by Anbernic that's under $100. And I can't wait to give it away to one of my Patreons so they can have hours of enjoyment out of it. So I think I'm going to end this video here. But you know what to do if you enjoy my content. It really does help me out. Hit that like button, subscribe, and then give that bell a little tinkle so you don't miss any future uploads, because I've got quite a few more handhelds coming soon, and not all of them are from Anbernic. I'm JP, you've been watching Alien Gaming, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.